Good morning, everybody. This is Dr.M.Angel, Assistant Professor, Research Center of Home Science, Fatima College, Madurai. Today, we'll see about the research methods of nutrition. Research is a systematic process of collecting, analyzing information in an order to increase our understanding of the phenomenon with which we are concerned or interested. When we define this research, it is searching again and again to find out a solution for a particular problem. So whenever we are interested or concerned about a particular problem or a phenomenon where we seek an understanding or a clarification, we undergo research. It is a systematic process of collecting, analyzing the information, that is the data, in order to increase our understanding about the particular phenomenon. So you can say that, why do I need to know about research? As a graduate student, you need to know about the research to become, that is, to be able to read and understand the empirical literature in your field, and also to become a critical consumer of information. As a graduate student, you can also prepare theses or dissertation by knowing the research. So this is a basic idea where it will give you an exposure how to do a research and also how to write a thesis or dissertation. To be able to both design and also implement your thesis or dissertation as well as your future studies that you're more interested towards that. You can ask, why do I need to know about research? As a future practitioner, to be able to intelligently participate in research projects, evaluations, and studies taken by the non-governmental as well as governmental organization, and also by your same institution. As an educated citizen, to understand the difference between the scientifically acquired knowledge and any other kind of information. So whatever the information which are available about a particular phenomenon should be analyzed scientifically and to be proved authenticatedly after acquiring the knowledge about the particular phenomenon. So what is research? Research is also all about addressing the particular issue or asking and answering a question continuously about a problem and also solving a problem finally. So first you have to identify an issue and then question about the particular issue, or what you're identifying may be a question also. You may be having a question about a particular concept or the problem where you need to find out a solution. You have to talk with the people who want or need your study. Then you can proceed with the research. You have to find out what is already available and what are the facts which are known about it to proceed further. And next thing is you have to talk with the experts and you have to read their reviews continuously and the original research on the particular topic. So reading the reviews are nothing but the data or information or the studies which are actually available in the previous years or currently. Next, after identifying all these things, you have to plan for the cost and do your study accordingly. And finally, after doing, you have to write it up and submit it for assessment so that you have to prove your findings according to the scientific knowledge which has been acquired while doing the research. So better still, can do a job on it also, good job on it, and also submit it for publication in journals or books or any other type of government and non-governmental publication issues. Okay, so this will be benefited for more people if it is published. For example, as you are reviewing the literature, if the future researchers also review your literature which is being published. Okay? So when we see about the scientific method, as I told you earlier, research is searching again and again to seek a solution for a particular problem. This should be executed in a scientific method. Through a scientific method, we have to execute and then we have to find out the solution. So what is that scientific method? So when we see about the research, we have to have everything is interrelated. We have to set a hypothesis. So those hypothesis ideas will be discussed in the forthcoming slides. Now I'll tell you about the scientific hypothesis, and then you have to predict something. That is, whether, for example, when you are giving a supplementation for a particular disease, you may have a hypothesis that, an assumption that whether your supplement will benefit the people, that is the subject, who are all involved in the study or not. You have to predict. So through the predictions, you have to confirm the hypothesis by doing the experimental methods. So while carrying out the experiment, you can prove or disprove the hypothesis that whether it is working or not. You have to observe things. From after doing the experiments, you have to observe things. You have to set up some parameters where you can observe things, and finally you will say whether the hypothesis is rejected or accepted. For example, so you are supplementing any protein supplement for a malnourished child. A group of malnourished children can be taken as subjects for your group, for your research, and another group can be kept as a control group where they will not be provided with a supplement. Here you can have a hypothesis that whether this supplement will help to make the children to come out from malnutrition or not. So while keeping this hypothesis, you have to check, you have to frame a hypothesis that this is highly effective in bringing down the malnutrition. By setting this type of hypothesis, you are going ahead with the experimental process. While going ahead with the experimental process, you are supplementing the protein supplement for a period of certain months according to your study to your experimental group. This is an example which I am sharing. So after that, you have to set some parameters to assess their health. So finally, after assessing all the parameters, you will be getting the final result where you can prove or disprove the hypothesis, whether the supplement is effective or not. So when it is effective, so if you are framed that it is a positively, it is good for the people, you can accept the hypothesis or else you can reject the hypothesis. This is the thing. And now we'll go to the entire research procedure. The first and foremost procedure for research is selecting a topic. That is, the topic might be about a concept of the particular problem, the phenomenon, where you want to find out a solution can be taken as a topic. Next one is a review of existing research and the theory that are relevant to the particular topic. When you choose a topic, you have to go for the different reviews. That is, the previous researchers, they have found out something and they would have published in journals, books, and other government websites. Okay, so such items, such articles can be reviewed in the relation to your topic, and the existing research can be framed out. And you can find out what all the work have been carried out previously and currently what is going on and what is the need in this area and which one is the lacuna. According to that, you can frame the way of research. Next one is developing a hypothesis or research question. As I told you earlier, hypothesis is an assumption where you can frame whether this, for example, a supplement will be highly effective for the particular condition or not. So this is an assumption about the particular execution of the project. Next one is the determining the appropriate methodology or research design. There are several research designs where we can follow. You have to determine the appropriate methodology, how systematically the research can be carried out. So how we are going to carry out the research, whether it may be a community-based research or a lab-oriented research, that is the in vitro experiments or where the field experiments also. So according to that, you have to frame the methodology. Next one is the collection of relevant data. So you have to set out the parameters to be collected while setting the methodology and the techniques where how you will collect the particular data. All these things should be framed out and it will be helpful for collecting the relevant data. What are all the tools and techniques and what are all the parameters to be assessed? For example, when you're going for assessing the nutritional status of a particular group, you can frame the techniques of tools and techniques for assessing the nutritional status. There are different methods of assessing the nutritional status, as you all know. Anthropometric measurements, the ABCD method, anthropometric, biochemical, clinical, and the diet survey. So accordingly, you can assess them and you can inquire them about their social background through the questionnaire also. And the parameters can be set down. For example, when you're going for anemia-oriented research, you can go for the parameters, the clinical parameters, the biochemical parameters, clinical parameters, or the signs and symptoms, which can be observed through the help of a physician among the anemic subjects. And also the biochemical parameters includes the hemoglobin assessment, the polycorpuscular volume, mean corpuscular volume, serum iron, ferritin, and total iron binding capacity. So these are all the relevant parameters, for example, which is the example data for anemia-oriented research. Likewise, there are different researchers and different topics. We have different parameters to be assessed. All the parameters will not be same for every research. Okay, each and every research has its own parameter to be analyzed. Then after collection of the relevant data, you have to analyze and interpret the results. Analyzing and interpret the results is you have to consolidate it and you have to analyze it. And you have to compare, for example, when you're doing for a supplementation, you can compare the parameters before and after supplementation, how it goes, and you can interpret the result. So what are all the parameters which were helpful for improving the condition? What are all the steps you have taken to improve the particular condition? Likewise, you can interpret the results. Next one is the presenting the result in an appropriate form. So while going and continuously when you're analyzing the data using different statistical techniques and also the interpretation of the result, you can finally come to a conclusion that what is the result of your study so far, which you have done. And you have to present the result in an appropriate form. This is the entire form of the research procedure where we can achieve a good research outcome when you follow all these steps. So all these steps should be taken as in a meticulous care to develop each and everything and to give a good research. And here we'll see about defining the research problem. How to define a research problem? First, you have to state the research problem. What type of research problem is there? And is there any sub-problems, any other problems prevailing in the community related to that particular problem? And what is the background of the problem? That is the review of literature, as I told you earlier. So the previous researches can be compared and the current researches can be also verified to see about the development in research as well as what are all the prevailing things in research and also what are all the lacunas which has to be carried out in future. Okay. And what is the good about tackling the problem? When you're tackling this problem, what is going to happen to the community as well as to the society or the nation? So what is going to happen? So all these things should be assessed. And why you are more interested towards answering the particular research question? Why you are more interested? Is it is a problem for the entire community or it is a problem which is shaking the entire community? All these things should be assessed. And when we see about this thing, first thing you have to discuss about your problem, which you want to find out a solution with the experts. And you have to look from all sides to minimize the unwanted surprises. There may be, when we are looking from the outer side, so things will be very minute. But when we go and probe inside, we will find many things. Likewise, we have to look from all the sides. Think about the process, whether you are capable to address the issue, whether you will be able to move to that place, or whether you'll move to, or whether you'll be able to handle the particular thing throughout the process to bring out the success. Can you foresee any pitfalls in data collection or analysis? Are there any obstacles in data collection or any obstacles? Taking a particular research and having more number of obstacles in data collection, the lacuna in the data, collection of data will not give a good result or will not give a good answer for the particular problem. So we have to think over it. And also, what all the tools are available for you to use? So that should be sorted out. And the research procedure which you follow. This is also more important. And that's all for today. And thank you for your patience listening. And we'll see in the next class. Thank you all.